Oh, hi, sorry. I guess I'm here again. I was just sitting here doing my makeup and I thought, why don't I do some more Am I the A-hole in drag? Because that was fun last time. While I put on my makeup for a bingo I'm going to. Okay, so first up on the Am I the A-hole, and I type in drag, because this is drag, Am I the A-hole, you know, make it drag. Am I the A-hole for doing my mother's eulogy in drag? I don't know why that makes me laugh, but like, it's just kind of, you know, maybe they're overthinking things already. Okay, by Throw RA Drag Memorial. Do you run a drag memorial service or something? I feel like you're trying to sell a product here. Okay, let's get into this. I'm already got opinion, but I'm 20. Yeah, that says everything already, doesn't it? Gender is complicated. Don't I know it? Okay. And the youngest of 3. Okay, so you're the baby. Okay, so, okay. I mean, the story is becoming clearer and clearer. Not including my half-siblings. I'm the only one who still lives at home. So I was my mom's primary caretaker when she was sick. That took a twist. Oh my gosh. Okay, is this where this is heading? If you knew my mom, she was literally the most interesting person you will ever know. No exceptions. Oh, I don't know. I don't like where this is going. And she had the very distinct look, and in her 80s, her words always made people mistake her for a hooker. I understand why you're a drag queen, because you're insane. She will never be not be my inspiration, no matter what who I meet. She will always be my best friend. For one of her birthdays, I dressed as her in drag and did an impression of her, which she absolutely loved. Oh my God. We all have that story where we do an impression of our mother that they actually absolutely love. More like put up with us and our shenanigans. Ha 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 ha. Your dad's like, ha 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 ha, that's just like your mother. Ha ha ha. And she's like, oh, 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 that's fun. Goes to home, takes her Xanax. She could not get enough of it. So when I did her eulogy in drag, I knew this was coming. Oh, R.I.P. mother, hooker mother, no less. Did her eulogy in drag with that look. I was doing it because I thought that's what she would have wanted. It's hard to know what people want, but you know, your heart's in the right place. I told my sister beforehand who planned it. She gave me the okay because mom always didn't want everyone being depressed. Right. Well, keep things light. In all honesty, I didn't totally follow what she wanted because I ended up crying through it. Oh, you're in poor makeup. Now you're going to be a soggy hooker. I felt like an asshole because of the reactions I got. My siblings, my boyfriend, my mom's friends loved it, but my aunt told me I humiliated myself and ruined her and her family's grieving, particularly my grandparents who wouldn't acknowledge me. Well, yeah, family's complicated, and something like a family funeral is even more complicated, and people have very big emotions that they don't know how to handle, and they're looking for someone to put that on. So it's not about you. It's about them. You are expressing yourself. Whether it was inappropriate or appropriate, that is difficult to say. There's not enough information. I don't know if your mom actually wanted it. Also, if this is what you felt like you needed to do to be cathartic for you, great. She said she wouldn't understand my logic properly, but I should have stopped when she made her sons leave. Her sons left. That, I mean, a drag queen making people walk out of the bar. That's my type of drag queen. Go on, girl. To be honest, I wasn't paying attention to her family at all. I was kind of a wreck. My father also walked out, but I don't really care what he thinks. And my mom wouldn't either. Jesus, you have a complicated family. You need to find a family. You need to find a chosen family. #1 mission if you don't have it. I really believe I did what my mom would have wanted. but I also know funerals are for the living to grieve. And I also, although my mom had a complicated relationship with her family, she wouldn't have wanted them to be offended while they were grieving for her. I should have known I'd get that reaction, but I was so wrapped up in doing what my mom would have wanted. I know this is heavy to put on Reddit. And my boyfriend says, F them all basically, but it's not that simple, so am I the asshole? This isn't as extreme, but when my grandmother passed, both of my grandmothers passed, I sang at my grandmother's funeral, and then my other grandmother came up to me and she said, could you do that at my funeral when I die? And I was like, ha ha ha, grandma. And then when she died, which happens because people are people, there was no plans made for me to actually join the choir or anything like that and sing like a song or whatever. So at the ceremony, I made the daring move of just standing up, walking over to the choir, and joining them. And it caused quite a hubbub. My grandfather was not incredibly happy with me at the moment. They were like, what is he doing? And then I told them, look, I sing, can I sing a solo on like, you know, some gospel song? You know, Catholic, I grew up Catholic. So, you know, I knew all those like, when you will lift me up on eagle's wings and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I sang that. After the fact, they thought what I did was very brave and appropriate. So I had a good turnout to that, but like, I know where you're coming from. Emotions are complicated. And the most important thing is that you give things time, because death in the family is very complicated and you're not the a-hole at all. Not the a-hole at all. Am I the a-hole for not siding with my college dropout drag queen cousin? This already sounds homophobic. I love it. Okay, and it's by Deleted. They got so much hate for this. Let's get in. My cousin, actually the son of my mother's cousin, but you get the idea, grew up in a small town. But when it was time to go to college, he begged my uncle, mother's cousin, to help him move to the big city and study medicine in the same university I did. Not cheap at all, but in the end, Uncle saw it as a great opportunity for both his son and the family, and he accepted. Fast forward 2 years, and my cousin came out of the closet sometime before I did it myself. We were not applauded, but there was no direct rejection from our family. This was already coming off as very cold. However, as time passed, my cousin got more and more into our city's gay scene, specifically the drag shows. And one day he announced he's quitting med school to become a professional drag queen. Okay, well, sounds like you're making a judgment call already here on him. And this brings up a lot, like the idea of like the gay gays and like the suburban gays and how they're not the same thing. At the end of the day, you all are. No matter how much you want. I mean, yeah, it is that thing where, and I know the gay scene is not for everybody, but I think what suburban gays forget is there's not a gay scene. There are gay scenes. There's something for everybody. You don't have to, you know, in Toronto, you don't have to go to Cruise and Tangos with, you know, that scene if you don't like it. There's Woody's across the street. There's Stormcrow Manor for the geeks. There's all kinds of things. And we're more and more integrated into regular society, I suppose, too. So, like, there's something for everyone. Yeah, I mean, like, when you live in a suburban place, like Kingston, Ontario, or whatever, like, you are a little limited, and, like, there usually is only one scene. So, I understand the consternation for suburban gays sometimes, but really, it's about fear for me. And anyway, that's a tangent. Let's get on with this. So his father was very disappointed and mad with him. That makes sense. I mean, you spent a lot of money sending him to med school, and he's like, F you, Dad. He basically just inherited him and cut all ties they had. Well, that's his choice. He also stopped paying for my cousin's rent and loans they had taken for med school. Okay. The rest of the family took a similar approach, and he became kind of a black sheep. That's really aggressive. I don't really agree with your family's decision, because it's essentially entirely like, I don't know. I don't understand. Like, they're okay with gay, but they're not okay with drag. Like, what's the difference? I guess it's more of a professional thing. It's like, I don't agree with your profession being a drag queen. I don't know. Like, that's just... Anyway. This guy's gotta figure his life out by himself anyway. Then he tried to use me as a lifeguard. Okay, so you're trying to... You think you're important in this. You're not. He wanted to be his advocate. Me to be his advocate, because I was also gay and I was also opposed to this homophobic act. But I refused. I mean, this is interesting. I kind of understood my uncle. He broke his back working and paying a lot of things for his son to become a big city doctor, and he ended up with a drag queen. Why not both? Anyway, I also thought dropping out was a really stupid decision. When I said no, he insulted me with all the bad words I could imagine and left. Okay, so there's a lot of drama here. So even he insulted you with all the drama? Oh my god, what is this? Everyone's so sensitive. I mean, I was reading this book. Okay, I checked what it is. It's Mel Robbins' The Let Them Theory, which is like free on Audible or whatever. I don't read books, I listen to them. But it's she had this interesting point where it's like, you know, when people pay for things for you, they do get a say in how you have to use that money. That's just how things work. Like, you don't... Yeah, if your dad doesn't want to finance your medical career because you're not going to do that and you become a drag queen, well, that's your dad's decision. It's not your money. So you kind of have to let them. So unfortunately, there's a lot of hard truths there. It's like, if you want to become a drag queen, become a drag queen. What do you need the money for anyway? Like, honestly, if you want to do the drag, you have to learn how to do the drag on a shoestring budget, just like everyone else. Yeah, I can't think of many drag queens that I know that are just like popping off with a medical career budget. Like, anyway. But at the same time, I don't love the fact that your family is pulling their support, but it's their choice, and you have to let them and take ownership of your life. So cussing out people kind of feels a little spoiled, honestly. It's kind of like, well, okay, if I want to become a drag queen, you have to accept the responsibility of becoming a drag queen, because there's no reason why you couldn't do medical school and drag at the same time. There really isn't. Like, you want to get on RuPaul's Drag Race that bad? No one should want to get a RuPaul's Drag Race that bad. I don't know. But at the same time, I don't love the family and not their support. But you have to understand people where they're at. Okay, after dropping out, he really had a hard time sustaining himself and paying his bills. Good. I honestly know a lot of people that have hard time, but like, they need it. They need it. If I'm wrong, he was homeless for some time. That's unfortunate. Now he was more or less stable doing private shows and public presentations, so he's living his dream, I guess. See? He made his way. You know, like, if you choose a career like drag, you have to forge yourself through fire, honey. So why am I bringing this down? Half decade later. You're talking about this half decade later? For Pride Month, I post a lot of content related to the LGBT community in my social media, and he literally made a snarky comment on every one of my posts. He also posted a long paragraph in his Instagram page about my hateful family, with a special mention to my hypocrite, self-loathing, queer, floppy cousin. I guess he seems resentful about the deal. Are you the a-hole? Okay. So let's see what other people think. I think this might be an unpopular opinion based on the comments, but you're not obligated to help them. But cutting ties with your child because they're changing the career is an a-hole move. Your cousin is doing well now. He's probably talented, not completely unrealistic dream. Not to mention he dropped out of school, was cut off his family, is homeless, but still persisted. That said, calling you self-loathing isn't fair online shade either. Exactly. Okay, I agree with that. Do you think disowning was only because of dropping out of school, or did you think it has to do with his gayness, the fact that he wanted to be a drag queen instead? Oh, I would say mix of both, hard to tell. I definitely say you're not the a-hole here, you're an advocate. It's kind of a mixed bag of opinions here, and I kind of agree because I don't think we're getting the whole story. So, like, at the end of the day, though, hard stuff like this comes up in the queer community where our family does disown us or cut us off for our queer decisions. But we do have to own that. And we have to realize that that comes with the territory. And it's not always full acceptance. My opinion here is the family are a-holes. This poster is not an a-hole. You are living your own life, and he tried to involve you in this scenario and stand up for him. It's not really your business. Like, it's his business. That said, I do think you are sheltered and are living the safe gay suburban scenario where you're like, well, I'm not like other gays, mom. You know, I have a successful career, and you know, I'm blah blah blah. You know, and I'm like, that's kind of, yeah. So, are you the a-hole? Yeah. Honest, yeah, you're kind of an a-hole. Oh, this is a hard one, but yeah, you're kind of the a-hole. Those were two really intense, very different a-hole stories. I need to finish my makeup and leave. So I guess that's all the time I have for. I'll see you next time on Drag Am I the A-hole? And maybe by then I'll actually have this makeup finished because these stories were so engrossing I couldn't get my makeup done. Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a nice whatever it is, and take care of yourselves. Bye.